Welcome back to the Law of Happy podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Tatner. I'm an attorney and I teach laughter as an exercise. When we laugh, we feel good and we raise our energy. This allows more good, fun things to flow into our experience. This is the Law of Happy. So let's laugh, have fun, and practice the Law of Happy together. I get so inspired hearing personal stories from people who follow their intuition, even if it means moving to another part of the world and are doing what they love. I want to thank my friend and mentor, John Coble, for having connected me to my friend and today's guest, Isabelle Nanin. From Paris, France to Quito, Ecuador via Sheffield, England, Isabelle has been living in Quito, Ecuador since 2009. Her own experience to pursue her dreams and fulfill them was the springboard for her to discover her real purpose. She became a women's empowerment coach and created Fenix Coaching Training to accompany professional, introverted women and female entrepreneurs to enhance their self-belief and turn their self-doubt into success. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Isabelle. Hi, Isabelle. Welcome to the Law of Happy podcast. I'm so happy that you're here as a guest. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much, Lauren. I'm really honored to be on your show.
So I'm excited. And
I'm excited too.
Oh, good. So to start, I thought it would be fun to do a fun, simple laughter exercise. So I'm a laughter yoga leader. I find laughter is such a quick way to feel good, to raise our energy and to be silly, let go. I mean, there are so many benefits to laughter. I'll get into that at another episode. but the bottom line is that you feel good when you laugh. And for laughter yoga, we're combining breathing, laughter exercises, and just, allowing ourselves to be childlike and just to be playful. And we're choosing to laugh as an exercise, a form of exercise, and on purpose. We're not relying on, on humor or something to make us laugh. We're choosing to laugh to get the benefits. So it can sound a little funny or silly if one isn't used to it. So what I like to tell people is, as long as you're open-minded, it's all you need to be. And to just be gentle with yourself, because it's a practice that can feel, a little weird or different at first. Okay, let's just get into it. So this exercise we're going to do is called the laughter name game. So I'm going to start. So I'll introduce myself and I'm going to say my name, and I'll also say my favorite color, and then I'm going to laugh, and then you join me and laugh with me. And
Okay.
then you'll introduce yourself. Okay, so hi, my name is Lauren, and my favorite color is pink. Okay.
Well, I'm Isabelle, and my favorite color is blue. That's fun. That's really fun. I feel like I've released all the tension.
Yes, me too. I know we're not supposed to overthink anything, but I just want to tell you something, because before Isabelle and I recorded, we just quickly did a laughter. We did the laughter exercise. It's a practice warm up. We did the same exercise, and I said my favorite color was blue, and now I said pink. But I just want to reassure you, Isabelle, that they're both my favorite colors. Okay.
Because to be honest, I don't like pink.
Well, it's good you're being honest and true to yourself.
Exactly.
So that's good. And you were consistent with blue, so that is interesting to hear. So thank you for laughing with me and doing that exercise. So okay, so oh my gosh, I'm feeling very great. So Isabelle, I want to learn more about you and your journey. I mean, I find everything that you do, your background, fascinating. So where are you right? Where are you now? You live in?
I live in Ecuador in South America. It's a small country between Colombia and Peru. It's not very well known, but it's fantastic. 4 different regions, and people are so nice. And I came as a backpacker a few years ago. And I just fell in love with this little country and came back.
Wow. So, because you're not originally from Ecuador. You're originally from.
From France.
Right.
I'm French. I'm from Paris area near Versailles. I was born in Versailles. I studied in France, but went to England as well, where I stayed 14 years. And then I remembered that I had a dream when I was younger to go to South America, and I followed my heart and my dream.
Wow. That's incredible. When you say dream, was it a dream that you had while you were asleep, or was it a dream that like a daydream, or?
Something I really want to do, probably a daydream or visualization or imagination that one day I would go there. One day, not live there, but go there.
Wow. So 1 second. So your plan initially was to backpack for a certain amount of time, or like what was the original plan when you?
Probably about 5 months, and on my own. I spoke the language anyway before I left, so that was easier.
And okay, and I don't want to cut you off, but were you in your teens or your 20s then, or?
Oh no, I was 36 at the time.
Okay, that's amazing, because you know what? First of all, I asked you that just to, for our listeners, in case it can inspire anybody to show people you can follow your dream and do what feels right for you anytime. First of all, I don't believe in chronological age. That's a whole other topic. You can follow your heart anytime. There are no limits. So that's very inspiring.
Exactly. I mean, I was in sales. I had a fantastic job in England, and something was missing in my life. I just thought, I'm grateful, but that's not what I want anymore. And I sat with myself literally in a very nice space, silence. And I just asked my heart, and I just said, well, what's going on? What should I do? And suddenly it came up, and it was just like, hey, do you remember when you were 18, you wanted to go to South America?
Okay, so I thank you for sharing this part of the story too, because I think it's key. So you said that when you sat with yourself, or you had this feeling in you that you weren't doing exactly what you wanted to be doing necessarily, or to continue doing it like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you sat with yourself in silence, or in a way where you quieted your mind and were able to tune in to your inner self.
And inner self, exactly.
Yes, I find that is key, so that you know that it's really your inner being, or your inner self, or your true self, that where this is coming from. Because I find if we don't tune into ourself like that, we don't know. Is it just like, our mind playing tricks on us? Is it just the chatter, or our mind just on overdrive, or is it really from our core, our inner being? And so the way to do that, like you said, is to sit with yourself in silence, or in a way where you've quieted your mind a bit, to really feel and tune inward, to reflect within. And so do you have a technique that you did then to tune inside?
Well, I think, as you said, you need to get rid of all the talk, in your head, and just silence your mind. Breathing helps a lot, meditation, obviously, but just being nice to yourself, and just be in a quiet place. Everybody is different.
Right.
But the silence is very important, because otherwise you won't be able to hear the answer. For me, it was just like sitting down and just in a silent room and just think, okay, my body is saying to me that I'm not aligned anymore, because that was my alarm. I was getting sad. I was getting angry. I wasn't satisfied anymore with my life. And I had everything, don't get me wrong. But that was, in a way, it's horrible to say that. It's not that it wasn't enough. It's that it wasn't, I felt that I wasn't on the right path. And my body was telling me. So I had to listen. Otherwise, I think I would have gone for a burnout.
Mm.
And that's the thing. Sometimes we carry on for whatever reason. Could be because we've been told that we have to carry on, or we are afraid of losing our job or changing, because it's not easy to change. But I was feeling that I was in limbo. So I wasn't there and I wasn't somewhere else either in my future. So I had to make a decision to feel better as well. So basically for me, what worked was to be in silence.
Right. Yes, exactly. That was just, yeah, the way to turn within and inward and to check in with how are you feeling? Is this how you want to continue living? And you felt that no, there was something else you wanted to do. And you made the decision that going to Ecuador and backpacking was going to be the next step that felt good and right for you.
Well, I backpacked in South America. Actually, I started with Chile, Argentina, Bolivia, Peru, and went to Ecuador. Ecuador was my last destination, South American destination. And I had planned to meet a friend from England in New York. And when she phoned me and she said to me, "Hey, I've got my ticket," my heart sunk, because I fell in love with Ecuador. There was something obvious. I had to come back.
Okay. So how long after did you go? Like, then what happened?
Well, I stayed 8 months in France, but my heart wasn't in it. My heart was somewhere else. And so I went back to Ecuador.
Okay, you went back to Ecuador.
Twice.
So the first time that you went, the first time that you went back, it was just to visit a bit more, or
to see if I could make a life there. Then I had some health problems, so went back to France. And in 2009, I said to my mom, I have to go back. It's unfinished business. I can feel it.
Wow.
And went back. And here I am. Since 2009, I've been here permanently. I made the choice to live here. I've got the double nationality as well. I'm Ecuadorian too.
Okay, that's amazing. You're so in touch with your intuition, because I believe we all have, intuition, but it's about tapping into it or just learning how to access it and trust it, like to recognize it and trust it. So were you always, like, as a child, do you remember being very in touch with your intuition?
Yes. Some people will see images, feel things. So I feel when it's good for me or when it's not. And probably because I listen even more now, because at some point I didn't listen and I paid for it and I learned hard. So, but yes, I've got like goosebumps sometimes and I know that it's the right decision. So I really do follow my inner wisdom.
And like you said, the times, because I can think too of, I'm in touch with my intuition as well and follow it usually, but there are times when, like, I guess if I'm really tired or if I didn't quiet my mind, and I'll sort of like rationalize or sort of disregard my intuition. So like you said, I agree, like those times when we don't listen to it, it's a great learning experience about the power of intuition and how it's trying to guide us for our greatest good, and we can learn from it either way. So thank you for sharing that. I'm so inspired by your journey and how it unfolded, and I think that's amazing. And so you've been working in
well, I used to be in sales, and 3 years ago I decided to be a women's empowerment coach, because I feel and I truly believe that we need help. And I wish I had some help at the time, when I was in limbo, doubting, shall I stay, shall I leave, what am I going to do with my life, being stuck. I felt at the time that I was, at the entrance of a roundabout, and you go round and round and round, and you don't know if you go right, straight on, left. And that's why I just thought, if I can guide those women who are stuck at the moment, or felt stuck as I did at the time, well, that's what I want to do.
Oh, that's amazing. So can you tell us more about how you help people tune into their own intuition, right? To make the
Yes,
best
and as
choice.
well to accept the way they are, the beauty, all the beauties they've got inside, and the self confidence, because without self confidence, we can't do anything. But what we don't realize that as human nature, we focus on what we haven't got or what we haven't done instead of looking back at all the experiences we've had and what we've learned from them,
Yes,
which makes us stronger and makes us grow in a way. So that's why I like to always go back to self-confidence.
yes. And what you said is so key that it really does come down to having the self-confidence, knowing your worth, your value, and self-love. Like I know that these are all terms that a lot of people are using these days and knowing that it's so important, but I find a lot of people have a tricky time. Like, how do they develop, the self-confidence and the self-love, and like they hear that they should be this way, or it's helpful to be, to have these, to feel this way, but how do they do it, in practical terms? So you guide them through practical ways to develop these habits
Yeah,
or these.
and I give them tools or we do exercises so they can go back and tap into the intuition, but as well into their experiences and the skills they've gained through difficult situation, because we are so resilient,
Mm,
but we don't see it.
right, right. And I like what you said too about reflecting back on um, past experiences as a way to learn and move forward, because I don't believe it's not about living in the past or um, feeling guilty or bad about certain decisions or circumstances. It's about growing from it and seeing what you can learn from it. And I find that when you can do that, even those experiences that didn't feel so great in the past, when you can recognize what it taught you and what you've learned from it, it can launch you even to a better, stronger place on your path and journey. So I find that a lot of fun to connect those dots and launch
It,
forward like that.
it's like a springboard.
Right.
You use that to just move to the next level and expand your comfort zone as well. Just say, okay, well, I know I'm scared, but I'm going there. I'm just going to see where the magic can start. I'm just going to share with you on a personal basis. That's what I do. I actually, when I feel that I'm scared, I know that's where I have to go so I can grow.
Hmm. Thank you for sharing that. It's the first time that I've heard that described like that. That's a very good motto. Can you just say it one more time? I just want to process this
So
again.
when I get scared, I know that's where I have to go to grow.
I like that. I like that. And then and then you don't have to be afraid of your thoughts or afraid of it. It's a good thing, and you're always moving forward and learning and growing. And
Because I
so,
know at the end that I'm going to learn something
right, right.
and I'm going to
Ex-
grow new skills, new strength.
yes. So thank you for sharing that.
And people know how much I love painting, drawing as well, because I use pastels, because I like touching the material. And that's why I've decided to combine it as well with my coaching.
That's incredible. That's fascinating. Your background and your experience and the different tools that you use to help people feel good and move forward and move in a direction that feels good and right for them. What's your go-to or quickest way or most efficient way to raise your vibration if you're like feeling a little off or not like yourself?
You're going to laugh, but don't sing in my kitchen.
Yes, I'm not going to laugh. I do that too.
And
Oh,
sometimes I'm washing the dishes and I'm just like dancing at the same time. And my dogs look at me just like, she's crazy.
but oh, that's fun. Okay, so I'm not the only one. Definitely not. It's that's a great way to feel good and raise our vibration to move to music in a way that feels good. Thank you.
And because as well, I mean, South America, you can imagine salsa, tropical music. So just like, my feet just move on their own.
Oh, yes, I get it. Because I love Latin dancing and salsa, bachata. So
Merengue. Mhm.
yes. That's amazing. So much fun. So thank you so much, Isabelle, for being a guest and for having this chat with us, and us, myself and our listeners. And I like to ask this question. Was there anything that I didn't ask you, but you think I should have asked you? And what would be your answer?
Before we started the show, we talked about an intention, and my intention today was to, if I could, inspire one person to follow their heart. That would be fantastic.
That's beautiful. Thank you for adding that. And that's why we have this Love Happy show and guests like you to share these stories, share these tools and techniques and what works for you. And if it can inspire, like you said, yes, just one person, that's amazing. And I'm sure it'll inspire many. So thank you for adding that and sharing everything. And if we can just end with a laughter game, it's the thank you and goodbye laughter game where we wave to each other and we laugh. Thank you, Isabelle.
Thank you for inviting me and making me laugh.
Thank you too. Thank you for having tuned into this Law of Happy episode. If you smiled, laughed, or felt inspired, please subscribe, rate, review, and share the Law of Happy podcast with someone you'd love to have fun with. And if you'd like to laugh with me as a guest on the show or in a customized program, you can email me at lauren@lawofhappy.com. I look forward to laughing with you soon.